Hi there, this is Alex Chilinas, an English teacher from Baguio City National High School. Join me in the short video as we learn together some essential concepts about simple past tense and past perfect tense. Verbs are often used in a way that it denotes the time when an event happened. These verbs that use different forms to show the time of an action, event, or situation by changing its form are called tenses. Tenses can be broadly classified into three categories. Past tense, which is the focus of our lesson, denotes actions happening in the past. Present tense talks about actions happening at the moment or events that are continuous or constant, while future tense describes events that are still to happen. Let us start our discussion with a short test of your previous knowledge on past tense. I term this Fit It Right, where you are going to decide whether or not you are going to add D or ED to the verb to make it its past tense. If you think adding D or ED is inappropriate, you just have to copy the word. Here's an example. The given words are add and leave. I think add could be added with ed, so my answer is added. While leave, I think shouldn't be added with d or ed, so I just copy the word leave. The rest are for you to answer in 20 seconds. Write your answers on a sheet of paper and we check later. Time starts now. Here are the answers for our activity. Only the words harvest and hike could be added with D or ED, so we say harvested, hiked, but we don't say eated, feeded, nor drinked. Now, how many correct answers did you get? Oh, that's great! The words harvested and hiked from our previous activity belong to the simple past tense. This simple past tense denotes an event which began and ended at a certain point of time in the past. If the time is then specified, there must be indicators in the past such as last night, last week, yesterday, or last year. Please read the examples for me. Good job! Majority of verbs are regular. Regular verbs are formed into their past simple and past participle by adding D or ED. Here are some examples. Cultivate, pick, and wash are regular verbs. So what do? We just add D or ED to form their past simple and past participle. However, there are regular verbs which end in a consonant and Y, like these examples. Cry, study, and carry end in Y. In this case, we change Y to I and add ed to form their past simple and past participle. It will now become cried, studied, and carried in both past simple and past participle. For regular verbs which do end in E, just add D. Here are some examples. Since love, prepare, and care end in E, we just have to add D to form their past simple and past participle. Irregular verbs, unlike regular verbs, do not always follow the same pattern from their base to their past participle form, and we do not add D or ED. For you to understand it easily, we can divide this into 4 groups with some given examples. The first group are irregular verbs having the same base form, past simple and past participle. Here are some examples. Read, cut, and put. We do not say readed, cutted, nor putted. But for read, the pronunciation changes in the simple past and past participle. It becomes read. So we say read, read, read. Some irregular verbs also have their past simple and past participle the same. Let us consider these examples. The third division of irregular verbs are those with the same base form and past participle but different past simple. Let us take a look on the given examples. We have run, come, and overcome. Their past tense are ran, came, and overcame, but when they are transformed to their past participle, they went back to their base form. Here is the last category of irregular verbs, those whose base form, past simple, and past participle are different. Here are some examples. Please join me in reading. Go, went, gone. Eat, ate, eaten. Write, wrote, written. Now that we already know the structure of simple past tense, we will now move on to the past perfect tense. Past perfect tense also indicates an action happened in the past. However, it was an action happened first before another action took place. And how do we form our past perfect tense? We always use the auxiliary verb had and we add the past participle of the verb. Again, we use the auxiliary verb had plus the past participle of the verb. To better understand the structure, let us study this table. The first column are the base forms, the second are the past simple forms, and the third are the past participles. Again, what do we use in the past perfect? Is it the past simple or past participle? Great, yes, we do not use the past simple. Rather, we use the past participle. Thus, when we construct our past perfect, it would be this. Kindly read the given examples of past perfect for me. Great job! Now that we already know the structure of simple past and past perfect, it's time for us to join the two. Both simple past and past perfect talk about events that already happened in the past. However, what happened first takes the past perfect tense, while what happened next uses the simple past tense. I have here Ben. This was the first thing he did, and this was he did afterwards. Let's pretend the actions portrayed by Ben in the pictures were already done. He was obviously eating in the first picture and was playing in the second portrait. As we have said a while back, the first action happened takes the past perfect tense, while the latter uses the simple past tense. Thus, we say, had eaten and played. Did you understand? Great. So if we construct a sentence, it would be, Ben had eaten his meal before he played soccer yesterday. Another example, we have here Pepito. These are the two things he did last night. Which action takes the past perfect tense? Yes, of course, the first one. And of course, the second one would be the simple past tense. Thus, we say, had studied and watched. Now, construct your own sentence using the verbs in red letters, and let's compare with my sentence later. I'll give you like 20 seconds again to construct your sentence. Time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's compare our sentence. I have here mine. Pepito had studied his lesson in English before he watched Gandang Gabi Vice last night. How about yours? Can you read it for me? Great! We almost have the same sentence. Anyway, I hope all is clear now and you can answer the activities on your module independently. Here is a short recap on the concepts that I have presented. Both simple past tense and past perfect tense happened in the past. In the simple past tense, we add d or ed for the regular verbs, and we either change the spelling or retain the spelling for the irregular verbs. For the past perfect tense, we always use the auxiliary verb had plus the past participle of the verb. Bear in mind, if you are going to choose whether to use the past perfect tense or the simple past tense in a sentence, what happened first takes the past perfect tense and what happened next uses the simple past tense. I hope you had enjoyed learning with me the simple past and past perfect tenses of the verb.